right when MH3 came out, I was really excited to Shifting Woodland Omniscience. We had a Simic build that was kind of lacking. We had a Gruul build that was closer and very different from this, actually, but it was also kind of lacking. And specifically what it was lacking was more cheap enablers for Shifting Woodland. So, like, Malevolent Rumble was awesome. Seed of Hope was also performing pretty well, but it's also like a, 1 mana, half Rumble. But like when you drew Rumble, this deck was so good. You just get to like fill up your yard, dig for Omniscience Woodland, and potentially go off on turn 3 because of this card. But then they printed basically a second Rumble in Bloomburrow called Cash Grab. It's a little bit worse because it doesn't give you a spawn token. The spawn token is a really big deal, but it is an instant. But otherwise they have the same effects. Mill 4, put a permanent from among them into your hand. We have no squirrels in the deck to get a food token. And so I've been working on this build, trying to find the right balance for a while. And after some testing off stream, I'm like really liking this build. This build is like very mean, lean, and clean. You just have a ton of graveyard enablers with Rumble, Seed of Hope, Cash Grab. You also have Fable of the Mirror Breaker and Seasoned Pyromancers as also graveyard enablers, but these are going to be able to discard your Omniscience or your Griselbrand from your hand. The one of Griselbrand has also been really good, where one, it's a good thing to like mill over randomly in Shifting Woodland, of course. You have a lot of ways to discard it, so drawing it's not that bad. But it also turns your Traverse the Ulvenwald, if you draw it when you have Omniscience in play, into basically a win the game card. And you don't want to play Emrakul because it shuffles into your deck. So Griselbrand, I think, is a lot better than Emrakul or basically any other option as a Traverse the Ulvenwald target win condition. Oh, also I've been working on this deck like all weekend, and I had 4 Rumble, 4 Cash Grab for a long time. But after a lot of testing, I felt like I really wanted to play the 3rd Traverse over the 4th Cash Grab, and I'm like, I'm still calling it 8 Rumble because I just had this vision of calling it 8 Rumble the whole time. I'm still calling it that. So. The main win when you have Omniscience is with Karn. So we actually like learned this loop when we were working on Omniscience decks in Timeless. But if you have Omniscience to play, the main way you can turn an Omniscience into a win with a Karn, Karn into a win with Omniscience, is to go Ancestral Statue, cast Ancestral Statue infinite times, 50 times, 40 times, however many times you need to then go pick up Karn the Great Creator, replay Karn the Great Creator, cast Aetherflux Reservoir, then cast any spell from your hand to gain 50 life. This will mean that, just any other spell you're chilling in your hand can get that life gain trigger for the Aetherflux Reservoir to gain infinite life. I don't believe that there's a better way to turn a Karn into a win, but just like in Timeless, what's awesome about Karn being your win condition, like that, like ends the game immediately, is that it's a Karn the Great Creator. It's not like an Emrakul that is just super uncastable without Omniscience. Not only is Karn a card that wins the game, it's also a Planeswalker, so it's a different type for Woodland, or for Delirium in general, because you're also a Traverse deck. But it also like can get hate cards. For Graveyard Hate, it can turn off artifact-based Graveyard Hate passively. It can grab Haywire Mite for Blood Moon. It can just be against like Boros grabbing Ensnaring Bridge is like super duper nice, and so it's like really cool to have Karn be your win condition when it's also just a very castable card. And another thing I really like about this build is we have this like turn 3 turn 4 combo, more often turn 4. You goldfish on turn 4 really really consistently, and some of your best draws can kill on turn 3. But what's really nice is like, if your opponent is mulliganing to like Graveyard Hate, Land Hate, your deck is just full of Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Seasoned Pyromancer, One Ring Karn. You just have like a lot of really you have a lot of like Plan B elements, which is nice. Being a Karn sideboard, obviously we don't have a lot of wiggle room for sideboard cards. I end up wanting to really lean on Haywire Mite as a card that can answer Blood Moon, artifact-based Graveyard Hate, artifact and enchantment-based Graveyard Hate. But Haywire Mite is also very notably a permanent. So if you were to play Force of Vigor or Pick Your Poison, you couldn't get those off Seed of Hope or Malevolent Rumble or Cash Grab, and you really want to be able to dig for your disenchant effects with your card selection cards, of course. So we're playing the full 4, although usually I think you're going to leave 1 in the board as a Karn target. There's been a few times when I've boarded in the 4th one when I've been testing. So, I guess maybe I should have led with this also, but I've spent, of course, a long time or we spent a while on Shifting Woodlands Omniscience, like towards the beginning of MH3. And I am now feeling like this is a playable build of the deck. You know, kind of before we're just kind of like throwing darts to the dartboard. Some stuck, some didn't. This was not sticking, but I've been testing it off stream and I've been liking it. I've done the math on the Seed of Hope hit rate. Yes, but I did the math and then I went up on Instants and Sorceries, but I think it's fine. It's just like such a really unique enabler that you kind of have to play. So my opponent's on a Molda 6. I'm on a Molda 6 as well. I do not love this hand with no Woodland, no Utopia Sprawl. But we are on 6. I'm going to go ahead and click the keep button. What's the thought process of not running Veil on the sideboard? You're a Shifting Woodland deck. That makes you very inherently good against counterspells. We're also Karn sideboard, so you don't get to play that many like real sideboard cards, and Haywire Mite I think is by far the most important one. But being a Shifting Woodland combo deck, you are just kind of inherently a lot more resilient against counterspells and discard spells than you would be if you were not. Although being on the draw against a Psychic Frog here on this mulligan is not a very good place to be. Although graveyarding and Omniscience is certainly something. And drawing Shifting Woodlands is, okay, very good too. So let's just main phase this to try to resolve it. Okay, so there are 4 types in my yard right now. But the cash grab will go to the yard also to have all the types. So I think I should just grab a second Karn here. This way when I go off in 2 turns, I just have 2 I win the game cards. Cash grab, baby. I mean, just like Rumble and cash grab are so good. Can you discard Omniscience? I have 4 Seasoned Pyromancer, 4 Fable the Mirrorbreaker, but none in my hand. Rapid the 11 months, Niles the 4. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure I got Zab. I don't know if I said Wiz. Thank you, Wiz, with the Switch Prime. Yeah, we could do the calc. But I guess I should just say in general, I've been pretty happy with Seed of Hope. Is there any thought on playing a tutorable piece of Stormhate? You could. And mostly for Storm is a tough matchup. Like a lot of times I think you're just going to get like Tormod's Crypt and then go off. Like one big issue too is like Damping Sphere. Damping Sphere is not a card you want to put into play in this deck because it stops your combo. So you would have to like Chalice on 2. But I think you're mostly just, you know, hoping to race Storm, and Storm is kind of inconsistent. And just like most combo decks, I think you can accept that Storm is going to be a poor matchup because like that's kind of like Storm's thing, is that they're good against other combo decks. But you could. I don't know if there's like something else you could play besides Damping Sphere. I'm certainly looking for any relevant spell. No such luck. Alright. So I'm going to copy the Omniscience. Now, I want to save this Omniscience as my last, like, Aetherflux Reservoir spell. But I do think that my opponent will probably counter this. So or, I don't know, maybe they're not going to counter it. Maybe it was just bad. But I could just get Cityscape Leveler off Karn, too. Like, that should be a game-winning thing. And also, getting this Omniscience in play will allow me to copy the One Ring going forward. Instead of copying and having to copy Omniscience, which I can start to draw cards to do stuff with. Okay. We're at 94.6. Yeah, I think that's fine. Mongo with the 9, thank you so much. So we can go, copy ring, draw a card, next turn copy ring, draw 2. So we want to avoid a Murktide Regent here. So that way we have 2 turns. Otherwise, we still have Omniscience in play. Yeah, but sometimes you just Seed of Hope, and then it just, like, if you brick, you gain 2 life, enable Delirium. It's obviously not ideal, but there have been a few times where I've, like, hit Omniscience and just leave it in the yard. Okay, so they almost started to play something, and then they did not. There's the Seed of Hope. The 2 life may end up being relevant. There's a ring, and then there's a Shifting Woodland. Of course, going to take the ring here. Expecting this to get countered. So now we copy a ring. Yes, which will never deal us damage. Never will hurt us. But they have a Bowmaster. Very good Bowl to 6 from them. Triple counter spell. It's pretty powerful. I guess they've drawn a few cards off the frog. And I drawn another land. Your turn. So my Griselbrand that I have in the deck isn't necessarily going to be the most helpful. Boros Energy is putting Ring in their deck spikes. Have Boros Energy's been playing Ring now? It's interesting. They'll do anything besides play Ranger Captain. Okay, well, glad they didn't discard that to the frog. It's pretty clear I don't have any spells in my hand. I would have, but whatever. So this is 5, 6. They could have potentially put me to 1. I guess putting me to 2 is pretty good. But they would have to go Hellbent to put me to 2. No! Wait. Hold on, I drew Seed of Hope. This means I can gain 2 life. How do we choose Omniscience to play? We copied Omniscience and cast 1 from our hand. And then I cast 2 cards, which both got counterspelled. This is 9 damage. Seed of Hope, baby! Let's go! Nice. Okay, so cast a card. That was awesome. Cool play by my opponent. Okay, so the annoying part about this deck is this part. So because we don't have another Karn, we do have to cast Ancestral Statue like 40 times. I'm gonna cast this 50 times, then pick up Karn, then Karn for Aetherflux, then cast another spell. Couldn't they discard the last card for lethal? They did discard their last card, and then they drew another card off the frog. So we actually would have won if they didn't cast the Thoughtseize. Okay, the opponent asked what the kill is. I love that from them. Okay, so we are up a game. Now, their Graveyard Hate in the sideboard is kind of a mix of, like, main deck cleaning, sideboard Spellbomb, sideboard Surgical. Nile Spellbomb is, like, kind of one of the easier cards to play around. We have Karn to turn it off, so I don't think I'm going to bring in Haywire Mites. Good morning, pizza. It's a good start to beat, you know, turn 2 Frog and the triple counterspell, double Archmage's Charm, Thoughtseize. Although I guess they drew 2 off one of the Thoughtseizes. Oh, sorry, off one of the Charms. But yeah, but being a Shifting Woodland deck, you just don't need Veils, much as other combo decks would. Although, I don't know, there's also just, like, rarely room for a lot of Veils. JJ at the 37, thank you, welcome back. Should probably copy that to Notepad for future matches. Yeah, probably. Yeah, although you still can't copy paste from Moto chat. I'll get around to it. Okay, this hand's a lot better. Double Cash Grab Woodland's a good hand, though prefer not to be in draw. Looks like a Defense Grid type deck. Defense Grid is really, really bad. Like, it's an awful Karn tutor target, right? Because if you're very, very rarely going to be able to resolve Karn and then be like, now I need to play around counter spells now that my Karn is resolved. And because you're a Shifting Woodland deck, again, you're just kind of resilient to counter spells and discard spells. Like you can get an Omniscience in play and just kind of ignore these, which is like the big strength of being a Shifting Woodland deck in the first place. I could take a Seed of Hope. We can go like Cash Grab Seed of Hope next turn. Yeah, but Cash Grab has been pretty good. Just weird Bloomburrow common, the missing enabler for this Omniscience combo deck in Modern. Kind of interesting between Karn and Fable. Of course, Karn is like the win. Fable is like just really good to slam in these kind of spots. Let's take the Karn. I think being able to win the game once we can find Omniscience in the yard and we get 6 looks at it next turn, probably gonna be my priority here. Yeah, just love these kind of games where we're not under any pressure. I'm gonna maybe try to save the Boseiju for a Nile Spell Bomb, but I don't want to play a Spyro into a possible Bowmaster. So now we have a Griselbrand in the yard, which is pretty interesting. Kind of painful against a Bowmaster, but what we could do next turn is we could like copy Woodland, draw 14, probably find Omniscience, then just discard the Omniscience to hand size. Okay, Harbinger of the Sea. Bit tougher to beat the Blood Moon because we have a lot of disenchants. I do have a Walking Ballista. There's the Omniscience. Force of Negation. 3 cards in their hand. So we could draw a Utopia Sprawl to get our second red source. We're definitely way weaker to Harbinger than Blood Moon. Yeah, it does give us blue mana to hardcast Omniscience. Maybe we should have put that into our hand. Maybe we'll draw another one. There's a castable. This also gives us more colored mana. Although, you know, this is unlikely to resolve. Maybe they have a Spell Pierce. Okay, just thinking about countering versus drawing 2. So I have 6 mana? Frog is pretty good. Take second forest, I guess. Second forest means if we draw Sprawl, we can immediately Spyro. Yeah, Blood Moon Brain is a real thing. Like I still like for some reason my brain thinks that these can tap for red. Okay, so they discard 2 lands. They hit me for 5 down to 11. Okay, they discard 3 lands. So big draw step. Looking for a Karn. We'll accept the Fable. We are unironic. I think we can cast Omniscience next turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll need one more land. So Omniscience is an out. That's very funny. Cool game. Good chance they found a counterspell by now. Space Qual to 25. Like, the fact that they're not discarding anything is a pretty bad sign for us. Looks like they have a Murktide. Murktide's not a counterspell. So let's discard both lands. So I was thinking I would bait with the Spyro here, but the problem is if the bait doesn't work, then okay, I guess yeah, maybe they would have consigned the ETB. But now we lose. No, we could draw Land Ring, baby. We're not out of there yet. Of course they don't block. I didn't hear no bell. Got a lot of looks at Omniscience next to yourself. 3 in the deck. We get 7 looks. What is this? Draw 3. Preordained, so they can still have a consign. Try to put him on together since we're in season. Don't really have that many Image 3 Bloomburrow cards. Any deck comes to mind that doesn't hit the wallet. Too hard to put together. Like the Teamer Woodland deck is probably one of the better budget-friendly decks to play, but it's not like your best choice either, as budget decks kind of rarely are. All right, well, I'm not gonna not hardcast this. 8. Thank you, Harbinger of the Seas. just casting Omniscience for 10 mana, our first match on a Monday morning. We're gonna do the Aetherflux Reservoir or Statue into Karn Reservoir. Wooden Puddle, 41 months. Thank you, welcome back. Appreciate you. No, 1-0. I was I haven't hardcasted Omniscience off stream. Awesome. Sweet hand. Yeah. You got so lucky about those games. I mean, maybe. I would have felt a little bit luckier if my opponent just didn't Harbinger me turn 3. I don't know. Omniscience the yard. We did get lucky for sure. But that game was over if they were just on counter spells that game instead of Harbinger. No. So rude. Although we already have 3 card types and an Omniscience in the yard, so we're doing pretty good. A lot of Dimir today, maybe. Get our basic mountain. Now, that's not an extra type, so we'll have to do a little bit of work. Oh, never mind. No work needed. Just top deck a fetch land. So this is 10 Rumble? I guess it's 11 Rumble. We have 4 Seed, 4 Rumble, 3... 3 cash grab. Alright, so maybe they'll counter a ring. Remember, Karn is our win, of course. Abelith with the 3 months. Appreciate you. Okay, and what's nice here is because we have 2 copies of Karn, we don't need to... the kill is much faster with 2 copies of Karn, because when you just have 1, you get Statue, and then you cast Statue 50 times, then you pick up Karn, then you cast Karn, then you cast Reservoir. With 2 copies of Karn, you can have the Reservoir in play while you're looping the statues, which makes it a lot faster. My opponent went Counterspell on turn 2, Counterspell on turn 3, and died. Died on their turn 3. Just like having this be your Omniscience is so crazy. It's like nice counterspells, dude. Yeah, it seems like maybe Dimir's kind of big on Archmage's Charm because of stealing Guide and Pride. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't think I broke it, but this deck has been good in my off-stream testing, I'll say. So I do want to try to get both Forest if they're maybe gonna Harbinger me again. I might go double Rumble if this resolves. Taking my basic mountain is kind of good against the possibility of Harbinger. Also because I don't need to like sprawl. We do have Delirium now. So let's just Rumble again. And then it's kind of nice that if they tap out for Harbinger, we can slam Ring. Okay, then I'll take Fable, I think. Yeah, I got 3 Vintage Cube trophies over the weekend. I got them all on Saturday. Um, so I'm not sure when the 64 player events go up, but I'm very excited. Maybe I want a Karn for Ballista this turn. Turn up with the 13 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So yeah, our chances to spike a 64 person draft 3x from last time. How many tips to get 3x? So I drafted a good amount on Saturday I think I drafted 3 times on Sunday and bricked on all of them. On Saturday, let's see, I did 1 on stream that lost around 1, and then I got it on my second, and I think I bricked another one, and I got another one, and then I think I bricked 2 or 3, and then I got another one, and I went to bed. Turn up the 13. Welcome back. Yeah, I think they probably go live either today or Wednesday. Hard to say. It is like a little random. Okay, they got 4 cards in their hand. Tapped Water Grave. Sometimes today around noon. Okay, cool. We'll see. Maybe we'll play one today then. Okay, I'm gonna grab a Woodland now. The feeder leagues are only on Saturday. They were Sunday morning too. It's like I would recommend trying to keep up with it because they changed the structure for the feeder leagues and the 64 person. Seemingly daily does the structure of this event change. It is a very cool event, and I understand why they have to change it so often. But it is hard to keep up with. Okay, so I'm at 2. Been at lower life totals before. Okay, let's see if we mill an Omniscience. We did mill an Omniscience. Oh, that's a good one against me. So you have to 4-0 a feeder, 6-0 top 34, 3-0 weekly to call for Vegas, 1 in 8,000 chance. Yeah, sounds about right. Oh, it's more than 1 in 8,000, right? Because you get a lot of feeder attempts, and then you get multiple 64 attempts. And sometimes you're good. I hear at least. It was good to Spyro flashback here. Okay, I don't have my... Oh, I do have another commercial district. Gotta go 13-0. Yeah, something like that. The odds are not great. The odds are definitely not great. But 8 people are gonna get to go. Why not us? Why not me? It's fun too, it's like just playing a bunch of Vintage Cube is definitely not a bad time. Nice that they surgical my combo piece. I'm still just casting rings and fables. How many counter spells you got? Finally out. Man, Woodland would be so much better if you could copy Planeswalker and use the ability. They only have 2 Karns. We only have 1 Karn left. Okay, that's gonna make things tougher. I think I'll discard a Boseiju. What happens if you copy a Fable? So I should be able to copy Fables on my upkeep and just start making Goblin Shamans, right? We can bash them with Griselbrand. We do still have a Griselbrand in the deck, yeah. Okay, I guess that's the plan. Also, maybe my opponent forgets about Spyro here. Okay. There's a sharp one. I haven't done that in a little bit. Presumably you also keep the lore counter? I would think so, yeah. So we could in theory loot. Although I guess because we keep the lore counter, we can't like do this infinite times or whatever. It's fun though. Yeah, so we could theoretically do this again and then loot, but that's probably not where we want to be. If only these were loyalty counters. Yeah, we could probably hardcast Griselbrand if we draw it, or Traverse for it, which is pretty nice. Although we won't really want to be drawing cards with it. I guess maybe if like they play a Murktide, I might Woodland draw a card. They concede, all right. This is a really good sign for the deck, y'all. That we beat like they surgical by Omniscience. They tied they blue mooned me. They played. This is all the interaction we played through. Combo decks that can win on turn 3, turn 4, and then also play through this amount of interaction are. This is like when your brew is showing promise. We also haven't won a die roll yet, I think, but I'm gonna keep this. Did 6 not fit in the deck? So I had a 6 basically over the Griselbrand earlier, and I was a little bit Primal Prayers brained because like Primal Prayers 6 does work. You can cast spells for free with 6 in Primal Prayers. Omniscience says cast spells without paying from the hand, so the 6 was pretty awkward. It like did nothing on your Omniscience turns, and it was kind of slow to attack with. It was like weak to removal, so I ended up cutting it. Averson32, welcome back. Appreciate you. So up against Necro. I actually played against a lot of Necro over the weekend. Morbid comeback win. That was my first Magic deck, mono green Morbid. Is there any? I've registered Tragic Slip in Modern a while ago. Probably better with Phyrexian Tower now. Graveyard that. Kind of looking for a Rumble effect. This is a classic case of on the draw syndrome, I think. Where if we're on the play, we get to play one of these the turn they play the Necro, and then like then we get to untap and do something, but because they get to play Necro first, it's gonna be kind of tough. Did you get to run 6 in any of the Vintage Cube decks? Yeah, I played 6 a few times in Vintage Cube. It's definitely very good. I rate it pretty highly. I actually, so I had this. I think I posted I posted 2 of my trophies. I didn't post the third one because it was just kind of like a normal, boring Reanimator deck that had like not even everything, and I'd still trophied because it was just like reasonably built. But I had this like lands deck that was really cool, and I played against an opponent who had, I can't remember. I think it was like. They had the crazy deck, just like I think it was Soul Ring Lotus Ancestral Recall, and like my opponent had cast 2 of those cards in the first like 2 turns. I just had a 6 on turn 2, which outvalued them. It was crazy. Okay, well I certainly love that they're casting this. My hand is very good against Inquisition of Kozilek right now. In fact, the Inquisition kind of helps me because now I'll be able to get an extra type in the yard to Omniscience next turn, which is pretty nuts. But yeah, this deck was pretty good, and then this deck was crazy too. This is my first trophy. I had Workshop, Tolarian Academy, Soul Ring, Mana Vault, and I also had Key to go with my Mana Vault and Soul Ring. And then my top end wasn't like amazing, but I just had like awesome mana explosiveness. Oh, but I was main decking. I was main decking the 3 mana Saheeli, cast a non-creature spell, make a token over the Cauldron. I had screenshotted in the middle of a match. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play this since these are better when I have Omniscience in play. If that makes sense. So right now I'm likely to discard these two, or maybe discard one Spyro, and the Omniscience, but see if they find their third land. Seems like maybe they just missed it for Nami. Oh, Boggart Trawler's been a bit of a problem in this matchup too, but that's another reason to play Fable over Spyro, is if they Trawler me, I still get to discard the Omni. Okay. So because they killed my Shaman token, I'll need this Stomping Ground or another land to activate Woodlands. Why to discard the One Ring if I'm about to Omni? Because the One Ring only draws one and Spyro draws two. But if you have two Spyros in your hand, it's hard for them to both draw two. So we probably are going to discard a Spyro instead. Thinking of sideboarding one Breeding Pool and 3/4 Pick Your Poison to Mere Frogtide. What do we think? What do you want that for? There's not a lot of Scion Draco, there's not a lot of Urza Saga. Pick Your Poison is okay against Nadu, but Run Afoul is better. Maybe you should play Run Afoul instead. Run Afoul is also pretty good against Frog. And Murktide. It is funny that they printed Pick Your Poison and were like, oh wow, we'll never need Run Afoul again. And then they printed Nadu. Yeah, I do think because we'll just not be able to do the thing, we'll do this. Or we won't be able to double Spyro here. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I didn't realize I was missing a type. I needed to discard the ring for the types. Because I already had the enchantment. Oh, sorry, I guess it was the same, sorry. It was the same. The Omniscience just was an extra type. So I need to play the ring here so that they can't Boggart Trawler my graveyard. So we should still be in pretty good shape here. Shieldred would be like a little annoying, but it would be pretty beatable. We get to go Rumble into Omniscience next turn. Yeah, sorry, I thought I had Delirium. I'm just pretty used to Omniscience being always an extra type there, but they thought, was not there. Okay, so the ring doesn't stop our combo kill since we can Aetherflux them on their turn. Ring or Rumble. And in this spot, we definitely need to ring because we don't want them to Boggart Trawler us. It happened like twice that like I ringed and then my opponent Trawlered or Endurance'd me and I just won the game because of it. Okay, Philadelphia. Okay, and then this Traverse means I can find it at Griselbrand. Rumble's so broken. Okay, and then Karn means I do actually win the game. So I think just to make this a bit faster, I'm just going to Griselbrand and find another Karn. Or try to find another Karn, I should say. Although I could just Aetherflux Reservoir. But maybe not telling them about the loop is going to be helpful. And maybe it'll be harmful because I want my opponent to scoop to the combo going forward. But it should be okay. Also, Griselbrand is fun. Why does Woodland not need to tap? I know, dude. Woodland is so pushed. Don't die to Soul Spike. Well, I played Ring for protection first, so we played around Soul Spike. Also, it's pretty rare for them to not Soul Spike on their turn and like just discard a bunch of cards instead. But we'll make sure not to die to Soul Spike on their turn also, so we'll gain way too much life. I guess I could also Karn for something again. Here, I will do a little bit of psychic damage. No, target Soul Spike last turn, your Ring Pro. All right. You are already dead. Wait, wasn't there like a better name? Didn't they? They printed something that was like better. My opponent, I think, is trying to just see a bit more of the deck, which is the correct play. So I'm going to try to discard cards that would not surprise them here. The Most Dangerous Gamer. That might have been it. Abandoned Hope. That was a classic. Okay. Yeah, take out the trash. That was the new one, I think. Let's take out the trash. So I have not been boarding in Haywire Mite in this matchup. I've been tutoring off Karn a good amount of the time, but I think you're just trying to combo them. Although I think I might bring in one over like the 4th Spyro. It's also 2 types for Delirium. A Good Day to Pie is pretty like friendly too. Oh, Doom has a thread on this. It's funny. Are you cards and clients name? Yeah, it are on cards. I don't know. I don't think, probably not. Okay, hard to mulligan Woodland double cash grab. We did win the game where Omniscience got surgical, yeah. We ended up like double Woodland copying Fable to get 2 more Fable tokens. My opponent didn't really draw any more pressure, that was the most key thing. The only ROG name with Needle there was Aetherflux Reservoir. Okay, keep this so we can discard the Omni to it. You did let them know you have Needle on your card board, which is not terribly surprising. Yeah, it's good to deal a little bit of psychic damage in games like this. You are already dead. Your opponent's mental gets decimated. Your opponent. A big thing about playing Necro is drawing your 3rd land on turn 3. Opponent seems to be new to the deck. So let's take land number 4. Does this deck do well versus Blood Moon? I mean, I wouldn't say it does well versus Blood Moon. Like, that's a card you'd rather not play against. But you have Karn for Haywire Mite game 1. You also have Traverse for Boseiju. So you have a good amount of outs game 1. And this deck is way better against Blood Moon than it is Harbinger of the Tides. Because you, not only do you have Disenchants instead of creature removal spells. In the sideboard, you have these Haywire Mites. Not only do you have Disenchants instead of creature removal spells, but you are also a red deck instead of a blue deck. So if they Blood Moon you, you can still cast Fable and Seasoned Pyromancer and just like put a lot of shit in play. Huh. Damping Sphere is pretty good though. Just makes things fun. So we're gonna try to do a lot of ringing here. Although what I might do next turn is I might go Traverse for Griselbrand and just put a Griselbrand into play. Because that's pretty hard for them to kill. Kind of depends on if they like Necro me or not, I guess. I could also just, ring again. Hopefully the Harbinger. Ugh. Come on, dude. Okay, we're gonna bring in some Haywire Mites, I guess. Oh, sorry, I need to use an untapped one, or tapped one. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I I should have ringed again this turn. For some reason, I didn't think about the second Damping Sphere attacks. I was thinking I could do this. So now I'm dead to a removal spell. So I should have ringed this turn and then Griselbrand the next turn. But I also shouldn't have tapped the ring because I need to block the 6/6. If I could draw an Omniscience, that would definitely, you know, reduce my mana burden. Looks like I'm not dead this turn, which is great news. That's worse news. Although they can't Soul Spike on their turn. But because I have a ring, I'm going to be dead to a Soul Spike. So they should probably just draw 18. Why didn't we just cast the ring? I guess I did a poor job articulating this, but I thought I could cast Griselbrand there, and I couldn't, and that's why we lost this game. Traverse, Omniscience, Grisel is 6 mana. No, because the Woodland doesn't... Turning Woodland into Omniscience isn't a spell, so it would have been just 1 mana. Okay, so let's go to game 3. 1 Seed of Hope, Soul Spike. Well, I can't draw off the ring because of double Bowmaster into Seed of Hope. So I'm going to bring in 2 more Mites. And then leave 1 as a Karn target. And then... I think I'm going to go down another... Oh, you know, I've been actually cutting rings in this matchup. Now that we have all these extra artifacts, it's probably fine. But just, like, slow, the pro everything doesn't help a lot. Although it is good against, It is good against Harbinger some games. Could you turn the land into a creature and attack? I was dead there. My opponent was killing me, so... I don't know what you wanted to do, or exactly what you wanted to do, but I was dead there. We had to be on the play for this game, which is good news. I'm actually gonna let this resolve. I'd be happy enough if they took Seed of Hope and let me rumble next turn. Today's schedule would be an hour. I wish. We have 2 weeks from today. 2 more weeks of Nadu. Although you could turn the Woodland into a Spyro and attack. They were at 1. No, so I was at 5 life. My opponent Soul Spiked me down to 1, and I had 1 damage from the ring going on the stack. So I was dead. They're also gaining 4 off the Soul Spike. But I see what you're saying. 2 more weeks of Nadu, we hope. Yeah, you know, if they don't ban Nadu, I'm probably going to explore other formats for a while. So they took the Spyro, which makes sense since that's my discard outlet here. And then they evoke a Grief. 2 weeks from today is the scheduled BNR announcement. 4 cards left in their hand. So I have Delirium after I crack this fetch. Although I was planning on traversing for a Seasoned Pyromancer, but now that I drew Fable for turn, sorry, I should just save the Traverse to win the game with Omniscience. I was thinking I was going to Traverse for Haywire Mite and cast it, so now it would have been, you know, definitely better to Surveil and not fetch Shock, but you do need to do stuff after your Omniscience to win the game, so let's do that. And what's awesome about this spot is we're just kind of hoping our opponent doesn't do anything and then goes Necro turn 3, although they have now done something. And I got punished for not getting Haywire Mite, but I think it was red at the time. You know, if they have Inquisition into Grief, into Damping Sphere, into Necro, it is what it is. These are tough games to win when Necro plays 3 really relevant spells before casting Necro. It can be tough. But one good thing here is they can't Soul Spike my Shaman token because of the Damping Sphere, which means we can put some meaningful pressure on their life total. But not a ton, but some. And we can also Traverse for Haywire Mite. I have my first RCQ for the season on Saturday. Would I be making a mistake by not playing Nadu? I have all the cards for that. If you have Nadu, I think that's probably the best deck you could that is the best deck in Modern, the best deck you could pick. But if there's, like, to some extent, you can like weigh that against your goals for Magic. Like you can want to do well and you can want to win, and you can also still pick a deck that is capable of winning that isn't Nadu. But if like you can sincerely like evaluate like, would I rather just not play, or would I, or do I, or like do I have I been working all week and I've been really excited for this RCQ and I'm not very excited to play Nadu at this RCQ. That is like a very valid thing, and you know, if like shaving off like 5 percentage points in order for you to enjoy your weekend and enjoy your tournament is not, it's not an unreasonable thing. Okay, so they Soul Spike, 2 cards left in their hand, back up to 15 life. They pitch a Soul Spike and an Inquisition. I'm just discarding Omniscience here. It's kind of a weird spot where if my opponent plays a Shieldred, I kind of have to kill the Necro, I think. I did exactly what you said. I played a deck I liked and lost both matches to Nadu Miss top 8. I'm team just don't play if you're not playing Nadu. It's not worth the negative mental EV. Yeah, I think that is also a fine attitude. Again, it's just all kind of personal. You know what? I'm going to kill the Necro. This is really bad if they have another Necro in their hand, of course. Stupid. I think it was okay. If they don't have another Necro, they just have 2 cards in their hand, and they could just flounder so easily here. And I have like Fable plus Spyro coming down, but pretty tough. So they only have 1 Soul Spike left in their deck. They have 1 card in their hand here. Okay. It's not a Shieldred. Turn Woodland into Mite there. It's tough because like Reflection plus Spyro is like pretty good board pressure, and sometimes board pressure does just win these games. I could also like Karn for a Mite. But I would need a land to cast it, so I was kind of hoping to hit a land there. But I'll take second Karn, I guess. I don't know, should I just turn Woodland into a Mite, kill the Damping Sphere, untap, kill them? It's pretty tough to do that, I think, over... I guess I could also hit my land drop first. This lets me play and sack Mite and activate Woodland next turn. So this seems better. So minusing for a Haywire Mite is worse against a discard spell, but I guess I'm pretty happy if they play a discard spell because they have Damping Sphere in play. They're not doing anything too impressive. If we win this game, we're playing goes Inquisition, Grief, Damping Sphere, Necro Ring. I'm gonna be pretty happy. We could get Boseiju. We could get Boseiju, but the problem is we want to play our land so we can go Might activate Woodland next turn. So it seems like playing Necro, or sorry, or getting Boseiju is wrong here. We want to leave it in the deck, I would think. But maybe there's a different route. Yeah, I was pretty happy that they didn't have Soul Spike, black card, lands, Shieldred. I felt like we got very lucky that wasn't their hand. Okay, so they killed my Karn. If we draw a spell, we're currently winning the game next turn. They can't... I guess they could Grief. Okay, maybe I'm just going to turn a Woodland into a Seasoned Pyromancer and attack them for 5 down to 4? Want to turn into Omni one head. So they have Damping Sphere in play. But I could go Woodland, Omniscience, Karn, Cityscape Leveler. So Karn costs 1 mana, then the Leveler costs 2. Oh, sorry, so the Leveler just costs 1. We could level the Necro so a Shieldred wouldn't be so bad, because that's their main thing here, and like Karn turns the ring off. And then the Damping Sphere is probably hurting them more than it's hurting us. Does Coating Necro with Karn do anything? No, Necro doesn't have an activated ability. Am I not running Vexing Bauble on the board because I'm not worried about the Necro matchup? So Vexing Bauble turns off my own combo. Like, if you have Vexing Bauble, you can't cast anything with Omniscience. So it seems like a card I shouldn't have in the deck. Any possibility for showing us good standard decks in my upcoming Grap Your Saga season? I don't know what this quote means. If they do not ban Nadu in 2 weeks, I will play some standard and ask Ash to teach me how to play that format. Okay, we're 3-0. Deck is looking great. We've beaten Harbinger of the Seas. We've beaten Surgical on Omniscience. We've beaten Damping Sphere. We've beaten Inquisition into Grief, into Damping Sphere, into Necro, into me misplay. Very relatable. Okay, let's mulligan this. What are we putting back? I'm either putting back the second Sprawl, but I don't really want to. I think we should put back second Sprawl. Cookies is how do you describe it? So there's a it's like a food tempo deck in standard, and like kind of the key card is the 2-mana 2/2 that makes a food token. It can turn artifacts into 4/4s. Ooh, we didn't find a green source. We can Karn on turn 3. Would love to see no Tron land, but lucky me. What the heck? What a play. Dang, how often do they do? I guess they saw that I have Karn in my deck, but I don't know. Good play, huh? Looks like we got a combo kill next turn. Hopefully you don't have a second Kozak's command. With Citadel to make Woodland 1 cheaper, be greedy. So that is a good question. We were playing Sunken, or I was playing Sunken Citadel in my very first builds of the deck. The problem is, you need to spend your first 2 or 3 turns casting spells to fill up the graveyard and like select cards. And so if you can't really take a turn off to play Sunken Citadel tapped, is the problem. Okay, well, gonna need some good hits here. That's something. Can they devour? They can't devour next turn. We should be pretty safe to hold this maybe as our Karn spell we need for our combo turn. I don't have I have a Griselbrand in the yard. Okay, cool. Thank you, Mushroom, or Mush. Okay, feeling pretty good. Think print Emrakul the Promised End, which is interesting. Chalice in 1. Maybe should have surveilled first. Yeah, probably should have surveilled first. Keep that one. So I'm going to cast the Spyro, which makes me discard my hand, so might as well put another one of these Ami-Namis into play. And we're going to cast the Spyro before tapping the ring, because we don't want to have to discard our hand. We might as well keep that on top. I want to play around Kozak's command, so I want to kind of spin my wheels a little bit before I copy the Griselbrand. Although it looks like we have got in there. I'm going to cast Ancestral Statue 40 times, then pick up Karn with Statue, then grab Aetherflux, then cast another spell. Dang, I forgot to copy paste.
Is your combo so long that you have to do that with every opponent?
It's optimal, I think, because it's not only long, but it's not really obvious what I'm doing.
Oh my god!
It's not.
These camera angles.
It's not really obvious what I'm doing. So it's I think net positive EV to tell them what it is and like in hopes that they'll concede. And there's not really much they can have here. Oh, never mind. They have. So now we'll pick up the Karn. And I think I'm still just going to grab Aether, because I can copy Griselbrand and just start popping off. Esther, entertain the chat while I combo off. This is why we don't talk lines to lethal till they're tapped out. And they're still super dead. It's okay. I've probably cast more Aetherflux Reservoirs than anybody else in Modern. Surely there's no one else. I play, it's like, I don't know, I've just played way too many Karn combo decks. Okay, up a game against Tron here.
My favorite Taylor Swift song is The Lakes. It's the best one.
That's one of 3 Taylor Swift songs that I like really like. There are like tons of them I think are fine or I think are good, but there's like 3 that I really like.
His favorite is I stay out too late.
No, she's gonna, that billionaire is gonna copyright claim us, sweetie. She's gonna get us.
That's what people say. I go on too many dates.
Taylor, please. Have mercy, Taylor.
And that's what people say. And that's what people say. But I keep.
I want to cut the rings in this matchup, I think. They're pretty slow. They're pretty weak against Karn. The pro everything don't matter too much.
Can't stop, won't stop moving.
Yeah, I know, it's fine. I'm just teasing.
I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. Cause the player's gonna play. Haters gonna hate, baby. I'm just gonna shake. Shake it up. Heartbreaker's gonna break. And figure's gonna fake, baby. I'm just gonna shake. Shake it off.
How was work today, sweetie?
It's good.
It's busy.
I'm writing a contract. You know, the thing about writing a contract in today's world is there's a Word file that has almost everything in it, and I just fill out their information.
Oh, the fact that I milled both districts is kind of bad here, because they're going to take my... Oh, they took Karn? They must have... Do you have another Kozak's command or something? Huh. You know what? I think I'm going to save the other Omniscience in my hand now that I drew second Spyro. This way, if they do have Graveyard Hate, I can, go again. Bambino, 27 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. This deck does use the Lordalog. If this deck needs to have a longevity, probably need to want some Force of Vigor in the side for Leyline, Rip, Relic, etc. Force of Vigor, I think, is way worse than Haywire Mite because Rumble, Seed of Hope, and Cash Grab only find permanence. It's also 2 types for Delirium and something you can traverse for, which is why I have 4 Haywire Mites. But yes, I have thought of this. Okay, so they Stonebraid my Omnis. Shouldn't you have done Sprawl first? Not if I'm planning on discarding the Sprawl, my friend. So we're looking for a Karn, mostly. Just got back from the Eras tours in Italy. Does that throw my VIP T-Swizzles poster? You want your VIP T-Swizzle posters. She got plenty of merch when she went to the Eras tour. So did I smudge the camera? I don't think so. Can Esther record the intro music? Maybe, yeah. I mean, I love Jalen's music. Esther has been working really hard, learning piano, writing songs lately. She's getting really good. She's, you know, I'm not sure how long she's been, probably like 6 or 7 months, but she's now at the point where she can just like read sheet music and like start playing the song, which is awesome. And I am so proud of her. And I'm going to draw a card next turn. What's the next best Rumble? I mean, Seed of Hope and Cash Grab are similar. It's kind of hard to say which is better, but like having all of them together is pretty critical. Okay, so we can probably kill this Karn. Let's look, we can. Looks like they're a mana short of getting an Ensnaring Bridge. I bet they just grab a ring. Do you have a grand, upright, or electronic piano? I don't know. They got... Okay, they surgical my Omniscience, or they Stonebraid my Omnisciences, so I don't really care that much about my graveyard anymore, so I guess that's okay. I guess we're just discarding a Stomping Ground. It was my grandma's old piano, but, you know, I'm not musically inclined. I don't know what kind it is. Okay. So I want to keep... So... Block here. I want to keep a Spyro alive to copy with Fable. So I can attack like this, and then block like this, and then the Karn will die. Does he have 2 pianos? Yeah, so... There was one stream where Esther's like, there's a piano on the curb. There's a piano on the curb. We have to get it. And so we had our friend Allie, who Allie also... She painted these 2 paintings in our background here. But Allie moves stuff for a living, and so she came with her van, and then the piano was
too badly damaged.
Too badly damaged, yeah.
It was like eaten up by rats on the inside. Like all the hammers were eaten up. There's a lot of rat poop.
And it's still in the garage.
Woohoo! Because it costs money for people to like dispose of it.
Yeah.
One day I'll put it on the curb and just see if
it was a misplay. So they're gonna take up the blast zone. They're gonna metamorph Spyro.
I have to stand on a chair.
They boarded in that metamorph.
This height. I'm literally standing.
No,
on a chair.
you're finally standing at your real height.
Wow, this is amazing. No, but we also have that little tiny.
So I don't want to double block because I want to be copying. So let's just take 8. Could maybe block here. I think taking 8 is okay. Looks like I didn't get a big follow-up. Alright. We're somehow 38 cards deep. Oh, sorry. We did see one card. We did see one Karn. It's an exile. Don't really remember how that happened. There we go. I'm like, we're kind of due, is what I was trying to say. So they probably pop this Tormod's Crypt now. Which, again, doesn't really matter too much. So am I going to get Coating? Could grab Bridge, but I guess they're not really that ahead on board, right? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Earth was shaking there.
No.
Coating is like definitely like a really slow plan here, but they surgical my or they Stonebraid my Omnisciences, so it's not like I can afford to play a super fast game, you know. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're also going to take up the Blast Zone, I guess, here. He just stopped Blast Zone on 3 soon. Yeah, so I should have just got the Needle. Oh, but they messed up. They only put it up to 2. It's really lucky, I guess. Yeah, I should have got Needle, though. For sure. There's a Swamp. So I do want to keep this available. So yeah, why don't we just do this? It's kind of weird because discarding another Karn is like a little awkward. I guess I could have just let the Karn die, maybe. It's kind of mana intensive. So they kill a Fable. We have another one coming down next turn. Oh, they're blast zoning the coating. Okay, that's fine, I guess. So Philadelphia the Saga. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm 1 mana short of Cityscape Leveler this turn. My opponent's at 10. One mana short of Lethal Ballista too. Oh, sorry. I'm a little bit more off than I thought. Oh, yeah. We don't have Delirium, but yeah, we could, I guess, Coating Woodland later. It is awesome how resilient this deck's been. You know, we've been Stonebrain, Surgical, Harbinger of the Seas, Damping Sphered, Counterspell, discarded a lot this league. Every match. But we just have 4 Spiral, 4 Fable, 4 Karn, 3 Ring. Hip hip, hooray, I think we're 13 months. What artifacts do I have in exile? I have 30 cards in exile. I have a Haywire Mite and another Haywire Mite. Do they consider Mud at all? A little bit. I think it's worse than all the other enablers, but I do like that it's 2 types. Okay, so pump this once. They're looking kind of dead on board, but start here. All right, I attack. I think if they had Kozilek's Command, they would have main phased it. Orno. Already did our trophy prediction. Let's keep going. It's okay. We're on the play. We definitely have many better 6s. I'm gonna mulligan. I think it's a better 6. It's probably gonna put back the ring. Sid with the 14 months. Glad you're liking the stream. Appreciate you subscribing. Hope you're having a good one. Definitely feel appreciated. Alright. Grab a woodland. This, could go off next turn, or, not this turn, but next turn. Would have been more likely if we had milled over this Omniscience, I guess. Could still mill over one. A little bit less likely. So keeping this ring in the yard is kind of nice idea, but let's just let's get into the hand. But we're probably gonna Fable next turn and then, discard 2 cards. Stomping Ground Ugin's Lab, imprinting all his dust. Emrakul the Promised End. I love to see this card here. That's what they put into their hand. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4 types. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they can't cast Emrakul next turn. And I don't think I'm that likely to get through the breach if they're playing Emrakul the Promised End, so feeling pretty good about our chances here. We'll see what, hopefully they don't have like a Karn, I guess. Just hope they play a ring. Eternity, 26 months. Thank you, welcome back. Have I tried any sack deck with Gelv Scaled Scorch? I don't know what that card is. Do not know what that card is. So I guess I have not. So our opponent here is kind of hoping to draw a land to go Karn, coating this on their upkeep. They just have a Kozilek's command, so we should play around Kozilek's command here, I think. Which I think looks like me getting a Tormod's Crypt, so I can stop them from being able to cast their Emrakul. Although maybe they can cast it anyways. Okay, so this says other creatures you control enter a discard counter for each opponent lost life. So it goes infinite with Murderous Redcap and a Sack Outlet. Not the best combo, but a combo for sure.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
So maybe I should have ringed. We'll do a little bit of mana inventory. So they, for some reason, don't sack the spawn to exile one more card, but I guess I'm happy with that. Another copy of Cash Grab. I think we'll just, well, I guess if I find a land, I can double Cash Grab and then activate Woodland, so let's probably play to that. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry. 8, because they can't activate this. So let's go ahead and Tormod's Crypt them, stop them from playing the Promised End. Yeah, we did hard cast Omniscience because our opponent Harbinger of the Tides does. It was a nice game too. But what we do with Omniscience is we copy it with Shifting Woodland, and then sometimes you just cast Omniscience from your hand with Omniscience for later turns. Okay, well, I'll accept my opponent doing nothing, I guess, even if it means they probably have another Kozilek's command. So against another Kozilek's command, I guess I could Explosives on 0. Which is obviously awkward with my own tokens. Ballista to kill all the tokens? No, they're gonna have too many. The thing is, it's like they just replace these tokens with more tokens, and it's like 6 tokens, like in Ballista on 3. But the ring also stops the Emrakul targeting. So it's possible I'm just like not supposed to. But killing all the tokens does seem pretty worth. Yeah, maybe coating is better. No, it's got to be explosives. Because I can even just like have it sit and play here too. If you have a couple red sources, do you ever put Utopia Sprawls on blue for any chance to cast Omniscience? Maybe. I mean, you can also just like a bunch of treasure tokens with shaman tokens. Never say never. It doesn't seem very likely you'd do it. Yeah, had a pretty good run in the feeder leagues for sure. Tokens can't be needled, neither can mana abilities. Yeah, I'm down to ring again. This just means, my opponent cannot... I'm gonna plus this card. But they can't They can't just Emrakul me at all, and I get to get a coating next turn. Maybe just go Karn coating next turn. And then if they cast Kozilek's Command, they're kind of screwed because of the explosives, and if they just do nothing with their mana again, they're also kind of screwed. Did they Stonebrain Omniscience? They Tormod's Cryptid in Omniscience earlier, or sorry, am I misremembering? They Kozilek's commanded it on Omniscience earlier. We got Omniscience Stonebrained last match, but we won that game. Yeah, so we got 3 bullets for the top 64 event, or the 64-person event. Coating also takes off K-Command. It doesn't, because the spawns Sacrocolus. Man, this deck is a blast. What's bullet in this context? The ability to try, or want one tournament entry to the 64s. The bullets it's usually like a poker term for like a tournament attempts. Yeah, so I believe later today the 64-person in like the you can join today in like a couple hours. We'll be able to enter. So I might play one today, depending on what the schedule looks like. I think they're pretty fun events to stream. Ideally, like I would really love to stream them like at the end of the normal stream. Like, okay, we did our modern, and then now we're gonna play the 64-person event, and you know when we're done with the stream. I prefer for them to not be like the whole thing, but I think last time I just like went live late with it, so we'll just see what the times are, and then I'll decide on the structure for that. With the Karn borders with some kill with Omniscience, yes. So the kill is so you go Karn for Ancestral Statue. Then you cast Ancestral Statue 40, 50 times, whatever, however much you need, and in order to gain enough life with Aetherflux Reservoir. So the last time you cast Statue, you pick up Karn, then you cast Karn again. Then you get Aetherflux Reservoir, and then you do need to have any other spell in your hand for that to be a kill. It's not really usually the toughest part of the deck. So I'm a mana short of Omni comboing here. That's okay. I think I can just plan to do it next turn. My opponent also may just have the 3rd Kozilek's Command. They like surveilled a lot, of course. But I think we're just going to go Karn coating this turn. Or coating Karn, rather. Oh, sorry, is this dumb? Am I just going to get Emrakul? I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just tough to play around the 3rd Kozilek's Command. I'm not playing a stone. I had Stone Rain on my board for a bit, and I ended up cutting it. Can't you get Cookbook? So yes, I guess the thing is I was thinking about playing around another Kozilek's Command, but it seems like they just have it anyways, and it seems like that's going to still allow them to Emrakul me. What do you mean you need either spell? You should still have the statue, right? Or miss something. So what you missed is, so you cast Statue infinite times first, and then then you have to pick up Karn with the statue, and you're out of statue uses. Like, statue doesn't let you bounce as many permanents to your hand back. It allows you to bounce 1. So it bounces itself, gives you infinite storm, then you bounce Karn, then you can cast Reservoir, but you don't have the statue in your hand anymore. Were they bluffing? I guess they were just bluffing. Don't know how we entered this timeline, but I like this timeline. What an awful bluff, though. Oh, they're just punting? I guess I accept a punt. I guess it's not the biggest punt. Like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, looks like they can Emrakul me. I guess with Cookbook, did I have enough mana to double activate Woodlands? I think I was a little short. Looks like they have or I guess, was I counting? Sorry, I think I was counting them having another double. So 3, 4, 5, 6... 10. No, I wasn't counting. How bad can they get with the Emrakul? So it's a little bit weird because they can't access my Karn's board with Emrakul. If they could access my Karn board, it would be a lot more complicated. I think there's a good chance they can deck me. Yeah, they can also just traverse. Yeah, they can kill me with the Griselbrand. So I guess I should concede. So because I'm dead if they just like copy Omniscience and traverse with Griselbrand. Maybe they would mess up, but I think it's pretty tough for them to mess up like that. And concealing the info seems pretty nice. I think I'm gonna stick to this plan of cutting the rings against Eldrazi decks. Yeah, the cookbook was kind of a late addition to the list. Triple Kozilek's command is tough. Sure, there's a different way we could sequence that. Played around the first two. Try mulligan this one. Keep this. Put back the district. I can fetch for it if I need it. Actually, I'll put back the mountain. Well, nah. Close. Pestilent Cauldron didn't make the cut. Returning 2 permanents sounds kind of neat in stone scenarios. Yeah, I guess I think that a card that is really only good if I've been Stone Brain doesn't seem very good. I'll just cast a Cityscape Leveler, probably. Bob with the 17 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, deck has been really sweet so far. Aetherex, 7 months. Appreciate you. Bring stops Emrakul. It does stop Emrakul, yeah. Or like stops it for a turn. So like that is nice. But they also probably have their own Karns. Or if they have their own Karns, my rings are a lot worse. They're pretty slow. Emrakul is also pretty slow. We could try to race it. They almost certainly don't have Karn. Really? Almost certainly? Maybe it's less likely than I think. I think there's a chance they have Karn. Their build is definitely, unique, right? Because they're in on the Emrakul the Promised and Plan. It's not the most stock. Delirium Online. I think Red-Green's Breach is a better Ugin's Lab deck than Eldrazi-Tron. Both are good. They're very different. It's kind of hard to say. No, dude. Well, I'll punish for using the Haywire Mite. Very rare for them to have double lab into ring. No Tron lands, no Karn. Okay. This is deck fold to quick combo decks, aka Nadu Storm. I mean, you could also win on turn 3. I do think that those are probably not good matchups. But you can kill pretty quick too. Not like this, dude. Although I guess I blundered here too. I should have Woodland copied the Haywire Mite. I'm sorry to disagree. They always have double soul land into ring. You could disagree. I've seen this happen. I've done it myself, I think exactly 1 time. I've seen this happen like 3 times. It is pretty rare. This red green deck is coming fairly stock. Came in 3rd in the No Nadu event yesterday. Okay. Cool. You still haven't found land number 3? They probably have. Alright, let's draw a card. Or like the best Malevolent Rumble you ever seen in your entire life. It's not a bad land to play. I'm gonna yield here, drawing 5 lands in a row. Okay, so not a trophy. Not a trophy, but let's run it back. Yeah, they were joking, but yeah. Raise the 46. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. You're bidding on house. Good luck. What we did is we just went to a lot of...